seeds are living things, even though they don't it's just a dead plant material. They are living, breathing little moments of potential.
I am Paris Alma.
I'm Lily Proust.
And we run Alma Proust.
And we have to say there's no such
There's no Alma Proust.
Yeah, because people think that she might be like our sister or something. We're not actually related, but we've got a very good sisterly energy.
We've had weddings, haven't we? Is Alma coming today too?
No. We were both growing flowers for weddings, for florists, for nationwide bouquets, and so we'd joined forces on bulb orders and ranunculus orders, and suddenly found ourselves
needing help. Both of us needing help.
Needing
really.
each other.
Yeah.
I needed Paris's help with a wedding and got in touch, and she said, "Hey, I actually am thinking of moving down to Devon," and I was like, "Don't do that. Come and help me." And so quite quickly we realised within 6 months my son was born and I was really poorly and was in hospital, and I was like, wow, I really cannot live without this amazing person in my life. And I've worked with
I felt the same. It wasn't excellent one-sided.
We're both self-proclaimed not great at working in a team, but we've actually managed to reframe that because we work really well with each other. And I've worked with people before, I didn't have that shorthand, and growing on the land commercially, even though we do it at small scale, demands so much time and energy, and to have someone who can meet that to the standards and have a shorthand of how we do stuff was so amazing.
And we didn't go into it planning any of this really.
No.
It was just me helping with the wedding, and then I helped here for a bit, and
we just laugh a lot and have a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
We definitely started out with way more.
We were going towards just flowers for florists, weren't we? And that was what we were kind of aiming towards with the business.
Yeah.
But then we'd both done the seed thing before.
Yeah. We both love stationery. So
and a lot of organisation.
Yeah. So the seeds really speak to us in a big way. So I started saving. I've always saved seeds since I started doing this almost 10 years ago, and then started selling seeds on the smaller scale in 2018. And then both of us went big on the seeds in 2020 because
everyone just wanted to grow, didn't they?
Yeah. And there was real seeds shortages. And it was also interesting because it was a big moment for British flowers because the ports shut. So everyone had more of a focus on local. So we went big on that. So we were doing very much the same thing before we joined forces, and then
about 5 miles down the road from each other.
Paris has a really, I'm going to just give you, I love giving, she's a better grower than I am because she's more consistent than I am. I'm way more chaotic. We're both super interested and curious about plants and the genetics of plants, and seeds are kind of so beautiful in so many ways and so existential, and getting to witness the whole beauty of the life cycle. We really love collecting plants. We get our seed stash for ourselves.
Is boxes.
Astronomical. Because we just want to try everything and look at everything and see how it holds up in a vase and what ingredients might be amazing for an arrangement but aren't necessarily the things that you think of. And
especially with sweet peas, we start off with a list of 30. And we're like, oh right, it's 35, it's 40, it's 45, it's 55.
Yeah.
And it just goes up and up.
Soon. And now, next year, we'll be growing 140 varieties of sweet pea. Definitely. It's super empowering. And everyone would have saved their own seed on some capacity until fairly recently in the advent of big seed companies. And big seed companies I'm talking about, most of the world's seed are owned by a handful of corporations. And it's become very human, and then there's a lot of F1 varieties which don't come true, and we're still fighting against that because there's still such a demand for specific varieties that are so beautiful. But we'd love to become completely self-sufficient from those sorts of varieties. Everything here is open pollinated, and we have
and then it's more adapted to growing in the garden the next year once you've harvested it yourself and growing. So
the seeds genetics change each year, which is so interesting and cool.
We're still at the beginning of learning about it already, aren't we? There's so many more things.
And it's super empowering when you save your own seed because you suddenly realise it's actually really easy.
Yeah.
The sweet peas especially.
The sweet peas. Yeah, I just love the whole cycle of growing a sweet pea from seed and knowing I'm going to grow it, have it there, collect the seed at the end of the season. It's just, I love it.
I particularly love poppies because they're so promiscuous that we grow a couple of really interesting varieties called Amazing Grey and Pandora.
Yeah.
And they're progeny throughout the most gorgeous, interesting. You just never will know what you're going to get. And zinnias are really interesting for that too. So, and what Floret are doing with their breeding is just so inspiring and so wonderful, because bringing new forms and colour, novelty is always going to be exciting to us. You are such magpies for fresh flowers and fresh colours.
We use organic practices, don't we? We're not registered organic, but...
Yeah, we keep looking into it, but it seems like a lot of work to do. But we work with organic practices and completely chemical-free. And we do a lot of no-dig method because we have a lot of compost.
We have some lovely mesh bags that we go around and collect everything in, and they hang up in the studio till they're really dry, so no moisture in them.
So we find like just at least 7 to 10 days of just drying them out a little bit further. And we find the mesh bags useful because they need to breathe. So seeds are living things, even though they don't it's just a dead plant material. They are living, breathing little moments of potential. And then once they've dried, we need to
clean them up.
So threshing comes next. And some seeds don't need it threshing; they come straight off the plant just so easily. For others, like sweet peas, you either pod or thresh.
I quite like podding my peas
threshing
by hand. Feels quite satisfying to see that pile of peas.
She's more patient than I am. Huge. And I think it goes further than kitchen garden and allotment. I think it goes into life. I think food on the table is really important. Being able to grow your own food is super empowering. But I think growing your own beauty is as vital, I think, to the nourishment of a human soul and a human life.
And you could just have a tiny pot of like a nasturtium growing on a windowsill, and the amount of joy that would bring you.
So nice. And you can eat nasturtium leaves.
Exactly.
And seeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's also, if you want to just sort of start incorporating them, but you were still very much a hardcore food grower, there are so many ornamentals that are edible too. So we love pansies.
Yeah.
We just have such a soft spot for
and nasturtiums.
And nasturtiums we love. Yeah. And those are both useful in the kitchen. Well, sometimes decoratively, but I mean nasturtiums are delicious. And then we grow aurak, which is the great big purple one behind us.
It's in the green.
Yeah, and that's edible. And dahlia tubers are edible. I mean, I don't recommend.
Dahlia petals too, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
So there's lots of things that you can incorporate that will also...
Nigella seeds.
Nigella seeds.
Okay.
And petals.
Yeah.
There's loads of things that you could... And I promise you, they're only going to enhance your life and the beauty of your garden. I think in terms of rules for floristry, there are I think any kind of rule is there to be broken, to be honest. But we do a lot of floristry, and I've written a couple of books about floristry, so I've thought about ways to try and make it easy for people and accessible for people to sort of bring beauty and play around with beauty, because it's about being curious, really, and about enjoying the colours of nature and the bounty that you've grown in your own home, and
also finding what you love in a vase.
Yeah.
Like, you can follow the rules, but no, you just play around, grow different things every year, and work out what you love.